Alrighty, so I know that this is a special month, and you are someone who just received a dog guide. Can you kind of talk me through kind of what this new adventure has kind of been like so far?
Yeah, sure. It's been kind of crazy, especially in the beginning. You got to get used to having another, I don't know, not person, but like another being with you all the time, which is kind of crazy. But it's also really amazing. I've always got a friend with me. Adjusting and learning, I was a little nervous about learning all the commands. I didn't think I would be able to keep them all straight, but somehow I did. The place I went, Southeastern Guide Dogs, they did really well with like training us so that I can remember all the commands and retain all the information, and they made sure to make the transition home, like to college, as smooth as possible, I guess you could say, which has been good. Plus, he's been a bit of a conversation starter, I can say that. People like to ask about him. I get the thing of, oh, I had a dog that looked like him when I was little and stuff like that. And so it'll get people reminiscing or just talking to me about him and asking about him, which is nice. I've made some friends that way.
And I know that this is definitely a process that it takes to kind of, get accepted and get a guide dog going through that. Can you kind of take me through, step by step, kind of what this whole process looks like?
Yeah, of course. So the process kind of starts with, a lot of paperwork, lots of application stuff. So you give a lot of information about yourself on application forms. You have to get records, like a new prescription from your eye doctor. I had to go back to my eye doctor and do a full exam, and so he was able to give the results so they knew exactly what my vision was like.
Take me through that next step that, once you get accepted, you heard that you get a match. What happens then?
After you get matched, it's kind of a waiting game. You just kind of have to wait and try not to be too impatient until you get to fly down there. For me, I got the call on June 29th, I believe, and I was going to fly to Florida on July 29th. So I had a full month, which felt both too long and too short all at the same time, because I knew that, I'd be going to Florida for 3 weeks and then right to Tyler right after. So I was like, okay, I want to spend as much time with my family as I can. I need to prepare things. I need to make sure I have everything ready for the dog. I need to make sure of all this stuff. So it felt way too quick in that regard. One of the biggest things that I've noticed is that I don't have to constantly look down all the time. And that's something that one of my classmates talked to us about. She'd already had a dog before. And so she let us know, like, there will be a time during class that it's gonna click. You're gonna realize, oh wow, this is like an actual thing that is super cool and I'm safe and everything. And one of the things that I always notice now is that I don't have to look down. I can kind of look up and around at things. I can notice things and not constantly be afraid that I'm going to run into something or fall or just trip or anything, because I know he's got me. I mean, I know that there are things I've got to do too, but he's got me so that I can kind of live life and not constantly worry. Same thing with like going through like a group of tables. I remember when we were in class, the moment that kind of clicked for me was when we went to this kind of downtown area and there was this kind of restaurant thing that had a bunch of tables out front. And usually those places make me nervous because there's a lot of things that I could run into, and I'm always afraid that if I try too hard to avoid them, I'm gonna end up falling off a curb or something. So those things make me kind of anxious, but he got me through them no problem, to the point that I barely even knew they were there. And, you know, it took my trainer, Christine, telling me, like, did you know that there was how many things he got you through back there? And I'm like, no. What happened? So she had to kind of let me know, and that kind of, it clicked for me. I kind of realized that he had me and that I was okay.